Since I have some awesome guys on TikTok right now listening, I'm thinking, may I have your opinion, please? What is it with men these days and not wanting to date? Do you guys have a fear of commitment? Is it the woman these days? Does it have anything to do with spending money on women? Does it have anything to do with trust issues, dating apps? Maybe you feel like there are endless options in terms of significant other.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video here today from Adamant Mindset. Men are no longer having families, and society, well, society is not too happy about it. Let's jump right in. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
And so now you got a bunch of fearful, soft beta males who are passive with mental health, a whole generation. They've never seen a dad in the home. They've never seen a man get up and go to work. So they don't understand that that's what a man is, and that's what a man does.
Provoked for men who refuse to step into this. Everything works right when men are being men instead of boys who can shave.
And it's because a large number of American men in particular, men in their prime working years, are actually not working, and they're not even looking for work. The result is a bit of a mystery and also a major hole in the American economy.
So you may wonder, what are these guys doing instead of work? Well, kind of what you might expect. Spending nearly 7 hours each weekday on average relaxing, playing games, and watching TV.
Right, so let me get this straight, okay? Dudes between the age of, what was it here? 24 and 54 or something like that. Men of working ages are not out here working much anymore, okay? They're not out here having families. They're not participating in society. They're not working your jobs. And of course, this is a problem, guys, for society because men are used for the taxes that they pay. So dudes are walking away and society is not too happy about it, okay? Caution, men not at work. Hole left in the labor market as men leave in unprecedented numbers. There are many reasons why men leave, but let me just outline one really quick. Men, the average man, doesn't own anything these days. He can work his entire life and still barely afford to pay off a house, if he can at all. You know, a lot of these times these days, guys, hell, you don't even have a girlfriend who's loyal to you. You don't have a house, a place to live that you can outright purchase anymore, ever. So there's not really a whole lot of incentive. Let's keep going.
So how is it, from where you're sitting, from your understanding, that people can do nothing all day and still have enough money for a bag of chips?
Oh, well, it's almost as though some entity is paying them.
If you're a guy that's given up, then at least you know that you have morals, that you have standards, that you have principles, that you have ethics.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Just taking a brief pause in today's video to announce that I am looking for an online assistant for the channel. If this is something that interests you, make sure you check out the pinned comment to take a look at the application. But let's get back to the episode.
Hello there fellows, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we want to see how men are not working that hard and it's causing problem for some people. Let's see what we got today.
But we're going to begin this hour with a not-so-bravo topic. We're talking about jobs and a major hiring crisis. A problem, really, bigger and older than the Great Resignation you've heard so much about. It's a problem you're not going to find in the unemployment rate, which is, of course, at near record lows. And it's because a large number of American men in particular, men in their prime working years, are actually not working, and they're not even looking for work. The result is a bit of a mystery and also a major hole in the American economy.
How is this even a mystery, man? Right? I guarantee you during this news presentation, they probably don't even ask a man between the ages of 25 and 54 to even comment on this. But a lot of guys are not looking for work. They're not looking to participate in society and have families and things like this because society doesn't give a damn about them, guys. Society uses men to pay taxes and then die. That's pretty much it, guys. You go out there, you work your 9 to 5 for decades on end. At the end of it, you can barely pay off a house, if at all. You know, what are you going to do? Get married to a modern Western woman? We all know how that goes. You're liable to lose half your crap. Hell, you'll probably lose your kids if you decide to have them too. And then we have these news presenters sitting here and being like, wow, what? I don't know why the men are walking away. I have no idea. It's absolutely insane, guys. There's not a lot of incentive. What is the reward for a dude to go out here and work decades of his life, particularly in some sort of 9-to-5?
The result is a bit of a mystery and also a major hole in the American economy.
My name's Mike Rowe, and this is my job.
On dirty jobs. Even then, everywhere we went, we saw help wanted signs.
It turns out dozens of real-life economists and other researchers have a possible explanation: a long-term decline in male labor force participation, or as one think tank summarized it, men not at work.
This is a men problem by and large, right?
Seems to be.
Look back to the 1950s, and 98% of men in their so-called prime working years had a job or were looking for one.
Yeah, you know why so many dudes were working jobs back then? Is because, number one, they had a reason to do it. Back then, guys, you would work hard, okay? You'd be able to provide for your family, you'd be able to buy a house, you'd have a woman who listens to you, some kids, things like this, okay? And you would come home and you'd be like, man, I worked so hard today, and it was so stressful and it was so awful, but I have peace when I come home. And you know what? It's my home. But these days, guys, it's like you go to work, you come home, and if you've got a woman these days, it's like you essentially have a second boss who adds more stress to your life more than anything, okay? Back then, you actually had a reason to go out here and work. Now we have double the labor force, so we have twice the amount of people paying taxes. Congratulations on the liberation there, women. And there's just not a lot of reason for dudes to go out there and be working, okay? Especially, right, you want to have a family. Trying to have a family in modern day society, number one, you can barely even afford to do it if you're an average working man. Number two, trying to do that with a modern Western woman is nigh on impossible. Number three, you risk losing everything. I mean, the list goes on, man.
Had a job or were looking for one. That number has fallen ever since, to the point where today more than 7 million men have essentially dropped out of the workforce.
We've given a lot of people a lot of options. And incredibly, one of those options is do nothing.
Jay Timmons, who leads the National Association of Manufacturers, describes all this as a profound problem for the companies he represents.
99.9% of them will say that their number one challenge right now is being able to fill those open jobs.
So you are here as a representative of more than 14,000 manufacturers in these United States. And the number one problem for 99 out of 100 of them is filling jobs.
Yeah.
So you may wonder, what are these guys doing instead of work? Well, kind of what you might expect. Spending nearly 7 hours each weekday on average relaxing, playing games, and watching TV.
So how is it, from where you're sitting, from your understanding, that people can do nothing all day and still have enough money for a bag of chips?
Oh, well, it's almost as though some entity is paying them. It's almost as if somebody is not letting them fail. It's as if some giant parent somewhere has...
An uncle, maybe?
Could be a rich uncle, yes. Could be a very wealthy uncle.
It's a fascinating story.
7 million men, and they're watching 7 additional hours
I was
of
going to
TV
say that.
and relaxing.
Yeah,
per
that
day.
figure got me.
It's wild.
Are the women in their lives, or the partners in their lives working?
So this is where it gets a little bit political. People on the right will say these guys are just living off government largesse. They're getting disability, they're benefiting from aid, and that's got to be reformed. And people on the left say they just need to be trained up. And yeah, in the meantime, they're living at home or they're depending on partners.
Okay, let me just stop you right there, sir. Men are not typically relying on their partners. Number one, because a lot of men don't have partners. Number two, if they do have a girlfriend or a wife, you really think that women are out here on average providing for men, especially in something approximating a long-term relationship? It's quite rare, to be honest. Yes, there are some women out there who will do that, guys, but we as men, we understand nobody gives a damn, okay? You're not going to have a girlfriend who's going to pay the bills for you on average anyway. Okay, so they're not sitting at home mooching off of their girlfriends and their wives and things like this. It's actually typically the other way around, which again, many dudes these days are only being valued either because they're very highly attractive, which most men are not, or you have a lot of resources and you just get used as an ATM or a wallet. I think dudes have really also realized that they're only really cared about if they can provide something, okay? You're as good as what you can provide, whether that be financially or otherwise. So a lot of guys are saying, you know what, I'm not even wanted anyway. People only want me for my money. So I'm just, what's the point of working? Because the moment my job falls through or things get a little bit rough, then my woman will leave me, for example. But to answer this woman's question here, no, men are not really relying on their partners. Men don't really have people to rely on like that.
In fact, these guys who are not working and not looking for work are spending less time caring for other household members than the guys who are at work. So they're doing less childcare, not even a little bit more.
I don't know, but an able-bodied man who can work and doesn't, it's not attractive.
Who the hell cares what you find attractive? You are losing. Guys, let me put this to you another way. Modern women and society are losing to pixels on a screen. Dudes would rather play video games than to have families with these women. So I don't think your argument here of, well, that's unattractive, really stands, because I don't think a lot of men particularly care what you find attractive, to be honest.
I was gonna say, not attractive.
And on that note,
Right, and men are just dying to get your attention. Let's see what we got for comments for this whole scenario. Gotta love how they interview everyone for this piece except men between 25 and 54 who are not working.
That's what I'm saying, man. I've seen so many of like these articles and news presentations and things like this, and they never actually interview a dude. And if they do, they pick somebody who is painting a narrative, right? They always choose the worst possible example, or the guy who's just, you know, completely lacks social skills, who's obviously not going to be able to answer interview questions with cameras pointed at him that well, things like this, or somebody who's just, you know, not that pleasant, right? They just choose dudes who they're going to be able to paint a bad picture of all men with. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, they don't interview or they don't talk to dudes between these age brackets who are in this particular boat because they don't actually give a damn, right? The only thing they give a damn about is the fact that they're earning less money off of the backs of men. I mean, guys, I've said this before, okay? But you go out there, let's just say you're a really successful man. Do you know how much the American government, for example, will just straight up take from you in the form of taxes, otherwise known as stealing? Right? You want to go out there and you want to earn $100,000 a year. You're a six-figure earner. Okay, let's see what happens when the tax department is done with you. Right? Men are essentially getting robbed. You mean to tell me I can work my entire life, I get stolen from the entire time, I can barely afford a house, and I get a wife who cheats on me? It's like no, man. That's not what I'm going to sign up for. But let's keep going.
Exactly. Instead of taking opinions about people who are not actually working, but like why they are not working, what's the reason, they would rather go for these big ones who have these businesses. Of course, they're gonna badmouth about the employees, the lack of employees, instead of how the work culture is or whatever it is. Man, this is crazy. They made a whole segment about the wave of men leaving workforce, and they couldn't even find a single one to interview. Exactly. I can tell you, as a college graduate in prime working age, corporations aren't hiring like they are saying they are. Exactly, man. All those ads on LinkedIn and everything, most are just fake, or at least they don't respond back. My husband is in his prime working years and has applied to hundreds of jobs without any offers. He's qualified, skilled. They don't really want to hire. They make it look like they want to hire, but prefer to make one employee do work of three and pay for one. Exactly. That's exactly what you would find for most corporate. All these IT jobs and everything, they show how luxurious their lives are. They're just working in one areas, but they will be given all this kind of workload that you might not even want to do that job. Even at the middle of the night, you have to wake up, and if some cord breaks up, you have to do that. Of course, it's in your job description, but they have to handle or hire some more people so that those are willing to work that night shift or anything, so that the workload is lessened when the guy was working a normal hour. But of course, that's going to cost a lot, so these companies are not going to do that. That's just my opinion, man. Let me know what is yours.
We told young men, don't go to work, it's dangerous. Don't make a plan, the world's coming to an end. Move home with your mother, she'll take care of you. Sit on the couch, watch, eat DoorDash, scroll through social media until you have mental illness, and that's fine, we'll deposit money in your account. And so now you got a bunch of fearful, soft beta males who are passive with mental health, a whole generation. They've never seen a dad in the home, they've never seen a man get up and go to work, so they don't understand that that's what a man is, and that's what a man does.
Provoked for men who refuse to step into this. I feel grief for you. I want more for you, and I want more for your wives and more for your children. Everything works right when men are being men instead of boys who can shave.
I love how what makes a real man, by the way, is going out there and working for these corporations that don't give a damn about you. The amount of times that I have heard manhood be defined by what benefits other people is absolutely crazy. You know, a real man is this, a real man is that. And it's always some self-serving definition or encouraging men to do something that they really don't have a reason to do. Now, guys, I will say this, okay? For example, I'm not against work. I think that men should be working on something, okay? I think that's it's a good idea. It keeps your mental health in check. A lot of guys have hobbies and things like this, or they go to the gym. Something to be working on is always going to help keep the mind sharp and things like this. But if you're sitting here trying to tell men that they have to be in the workforce in order to be a real man, and it's like, what do men get out of this situation these days, guys? Like, really, the question is, why should a man go and work for a country that doesn't like him, that hates him? That's my question, right? You want dudes to work in your corporations, you want them to do your jobs, fine. But why should they do that? Back in the day, guys, you would do this, and again, at the end of the day, you would have a family, you would have a house, you'd be able to look after and provide, and you'd have a wife that listens to you, right? You'd have a family, and things would be going great. And it doesn't matter how much stress you would incur, because at the end of the day, it would be worth it. But these days, it's like, why should men go out here and incur all of this stress? Like, for what possible reason? So dudes have opted to work on other things, or just do other things that they care about instead. Or even, there are dudes out there who do nothing because they view it as a better alternative than working for you.
And oh, that we would grow into what God... Man, we're going to stumble. It's hard. God meant it to be hard. That's how much he loves you. He's going to make sure you couldn't do it on your own. You're going to need to sit in the driveway and pray. You were going to need to late at night go, Lord, help me, I will kill somebody. Lord, help me. Help me right now, Lord. Give me a verse. Not that one. Give me nothing Old Testament. Give me something happy. Give me something out of the Psalms. There we go. Thank you, Lord, right?
Man to pay for the date. Yes, the whole entire date. That includes my Uber to the date and my Uber back to my house. If you are a man that I'm interested in, I want to see that you can provide for me. I want to see that you can afford an Uber ride.
Yeah, gee, I wonder why men aren't working jobs anymore. I wonder why dudes aren't participating in society. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, okay, not only do you not get a traditional girlfriend or wife anymore, you actually get the complete opposite. You get an entitled one. Now, I'm not saying that this woman right here in the middle is the average Western woman, but I am certainly going to say this. A lot of Western women think the exact same way. A man has to provide, he has to do this, he has to do that. And again, what do men get in return? Nothing. They get entitlement. The women will never cook for you. If they do, it'll be terrible, and they'll do it once every 4 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is what awaits men at the end of the road for working hard, it's not happening. You're going to have to pitch a little bit better, I think.
I want to see that you can afford a nice dinner date. Like, can you afford basic things? Because if you can't afford dinner and an Uber, my transportation, you certainly can't afford kids.
Wow, who wants to have kids with someone like that? Wow, just I can't think of a man trying to take that challenge. Let me know what you guys feel about this.
Since I have some awesome guys on TikTok right now listening, I'm thinking, may I have your opinion, please? What is it with men these days and not wanting to date? Do you guys have a fear of commitment? Is it the woman these days? Does it have anything to do with spending money on women? Does it have anything to do with trust issues, dating apps? Maybe you feel like there are endless options in terms of significant other.
23 relative.
Yeah, so let me just say this before we continue. Women who make these videos, by and large, they actually don't care. They are asking these questions, you know, why don't men date? Why don't men do these things? And I can sit here and I can give you a list of logical reasons that would make sense as to why men are not doing these things. But at the end of the day, these women do not care. They will not change, and they will continue to go out there and do the degenerate behavior that they would like to do until it is too late. And when it's too late, they'll marry some simp or try and get some guy to provide for them. They will try and steal his things, and then they will resume the degeneracy. So, you know, I could sit here and I could entertain this girl's questions, but to be honest, I think we all know why dudes are not really interested. Let's continue. What does this say? Woman brings 23 relatives on a blind date to test the man's generosity. What the hell?
Relatives on a blind date to test her date's generosity. So the blind date was allegedly set up by his mom and took place in China. So the test didn't go very well. The man skipped out on the bill before the bill came and left her and the relatives with a $3,000 bill. I don't care what.
What the hell? $3,100 for a blind date? And if I'm hearing this correctly, the dude's mother set this up? What the hell is this, man? And you see, this is an extreme example. Again, not every woman is going to pull some nonsense like this. But this is what I'm talking about when I say that dudes are being used for their wallets, right? So, you know, you have all of these women, they jump on TikTok or they hold the attitude of, well, a man needs to take me out to dinner on the first date. Why the hell would you take a woman out to dinner on a first date these days, guys? I have absolutely no idea, because guess what? Every single woman saying that nonsense is hooking up with dudes who didn't have to buy her a damn thing. Please understand that, guys. If you are messaging a woman and she wants you to, she insists on you taking her out to dinner, trust me when I say that will be a complete waste of your time. Complete waste of your time. Some other dude is getting it for free. I would not recommend being the dude that pays 4,000% on the retail price, but let's keep going.
$3,000 bill. I don't care what anybody says, but a guy should always be paying for dates.
Right.
I already know the men are going to come in my comments crying and screaming. I don't care.
I mean, they're not. I'm just going to say no. Just no thank you. No crying, no screaming. Just no thank you.
If you're okay with splitting the bill, if you're okay with taking turns paying, if you're okay with being the one that's paying for most of the things, fine. That's on you, girl. But me, There are men out there who are literally paying for full-blown vacations for women, flying them out, paying for every single thing they could ever want. And you're gonna let a man make you split on a first date? Some men are providers and some men aren't. Some men want to give you the world in that aspect, and some men want to do 50-50, and that's fine.
Why is it that when these women sit down and record themselves talking on TikTok, they are just so unpleasant? It feels like they're just yelling at you or lecturing you the entire damn time. Okay? And this is exactly why men don't want to provide for you or take care of you, because you are horrible to be around. This is what I mean when I say that these women will introduce nothing but headaches to your life, guys. Okay? I cannot imagine. This is what I was talking about earlier, right? Imagine for a moment, you go work your 9 to 5, okay? You've had a hard day at work. You return home from work, and this woman is living with you. Now, need I say more? It's going to be a horrible... You are going to age so damn quickly. You are going to be so stressed, okay? You are going to have an awful time. is what I'm going to say there. So no, I don't want to be paying the bills for you. I don't even want to be around you, right? You would have an easier time getting me to pay you money to leave. You see what I'm saying? Holy hell, these women are absolutely obnoxious.
That's not what I want. I'm sorry, but if I'm having your baby, if I'm giving birth to a whole ass human.
You're not, let me just, sorry for pausing again so soon, guys, but women will bring up this argument all the time, okay? They'll be like, well, you know, you have to pay all my bills because if I'm having the kids, blah, 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 blah. Number one, don't want to have kids with you. Number two, where are your children then? Like, how is this working out for you? Where's the children? So I'm going to have to pay for everything and just rely on the fact that maybe one day you'll have children, that one day we'll have kids together. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's like dudes coming out here and saying, yeah, give me all of the intimacy, right? We'll have tons of bedroom fun. And, you know, if you don't give me that, well, then I'm giving you commitment. But the men don't actually give commitment. You know what I'm saying? Like these girls, they try and lure you in. Oh yes, I'm wifey material, or you know, I'm prepared to have kids and things like this. No, they aren't, number one. And number two, having kids with them is a terrible idea.
And going through everything that I have to do for that, I am not doing 50-50.
Men are just tired of this nonsense, man. Trying to be provider for who? Are these people even worth it? Let's see some comments. The women and pastors and the government can talk and shame and gaslight all they want. MGTOW men are not listening anymore. Let them turn to dust. Man, that's exactly what we are doing. Enjoying our life. Did they think forcing men out of marriage and not being able to raise his children would lead to a better society? Really? And I'm not a rocket scientist, and even I understand it. Exactly. They give so much credit to like single mothers, all that nonsense about empowering women and stuff. They forgot that men are required in life, and they remove fathers completely, and this is the result. Oh no, the wage slaves are revolting. It's one thing if you have never worked, but a lot of these men have put in 20 plus years of hard work already before they start to relax. For me, it was 35 years. Exactly. I'm just glad that such videos or anything are helping young men to understand that you don't have to work hard nowadays, because most men work hard to build a family, but nowadays no one is aiming for that because there aren't any good women to have a wife. I'd rather just enjoy your life in a simple way without working and breaking your back and all that stuff. Just enjoy your life, man.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Okay, and again, before I end this video, the reason why dudes would work so hard is because they had something to work for. They had a family to work for, they had people that they cared about. You know, maybe they were patriotic, right? They loved their country and things like this. But dudes have watched these things completely flip on their heads, okay? Your country doesn't like you. They absolutely hate you. Why would you go out there and fight a war for them? Why would you go out there and pay their taxes? Women these days, let's face it, not once, you know, not what they once were. You're not really realistically going to be able to safely have a family, at least in the West. You risk absolutely everything in doing so. And also the women are lower quality these days. So, you know, why would you go out there and work to provide for that exactly? I mean, the problem with this is, yeah, you can sit there and you can try and shame dudes into working as much as you want. But the problem is, if this is the reward that waits at the end of it, you're going to have a very hard time convincing men. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.